All right, real quick. I'm going to do this just to address the trolls. All right. So I made a video called we have to know who's who. And the reason I made that video is because, like I said, I'm not going to continue to make these videos about Taharka Bey, because at this point, the information is out there. You know what I'm saying? The information is out there enough for people know what it is. So really, it would be more beneficial at this point to address the trolls, people who've been trolling my channel, and really just address the general public to what to look for and why it is important to understand, more importantly, those who support not just Taharka Bey, but people in our community that is doing the fuck shit. It's because you live by these people. See, there's only one Taharka Bey, but there's a lot of people who believe, support, and will look the other way no matter what information is being presented. There are people out there who will be more upset with what Tariq Nasheed wrote in a book, even though what he wrote was true. Let me give you some context to what he wrote in that book that people are starting to try to use as some ammo against him. What he said is that, and I'm paraphrasing, he said by the time a young lady is about 15 years old, you can see the trajectory of where she's going. In other words, most prostitutes, they have a similar past. And typically they're turned out by their living environment, those around them, those in their family, the community they live in. They're already turned out for prostitution before they actually meet a pimp. And this is true. Let's just keep it a buck. Just like if most gangbanger men have similar pasts. If you see them at 15 years old and they're already selling drugs, packing guns, getting in fights, being disobedient to their parents and authority, you know that they're heading towards a path that's probably going to land them in prison, right? That's just like, it's a hard truth to swallow, but it's just the facts. I've done mentoring for years. And what we learned about and what we taught about was the school to prison pipeline. The idea is this: by third grade, they assess reading levels of third graders. And from there, they determine how many juveniles in jails and prisons they're going to build, because they expect, especially in our communities, that if they have this many people who can't even read at the third grade level, that they're probably going to end up doing something that's going to lead them to the pen. Whether that's fair or not, doesn't matter. They just use that data as a trajectory. So that's pretty much what Tariq Nasheed was saying. And it's what we all do. Let's keep it a buck. We see the young kids acting a fool in the corner, and we were like, okay, yeah, they're heading towards a path that's probably not going to be productive for them. But anyway, regardless of how you feel about what was written in that book, when he said that, if you're more concerned about that than what you're seeing in front of you, you are the problem. Because you are the one that's willing to look the other way. You know what I'm saying? If you're more concerned about what somebody wrote in a book than someone who has documented evidence of being a woman abuser on multiple occasions, multiple women, multiple children that he abused physically and mentally. Multiple times he has raised money for things he didn't produce, and being on the sex offense registry. Because you know what's interesting is, when you think about it, what Tariq Nasheed was saying fits right into what we're seeing going on with the people that are making excuses for Taharka Bey right now. Because those women, those young ladies that become prostitutes, typically were sexually abused. Typically they were sexually assaulted. Typically someone committed a sex offense against them, which makes them prematurely promiscuous. I did mentoring of youth for years. Years. Every year we had to get a check. Background check. Sex offense registry check. The last job I started, I had to get a check. When I got accepted in this gated community, they did a background check, including sex offense registry. Every single time, I came back with a N on that part. The part that you see with the capital Y right here, all of mine say N. They checked it, but no, I'm not on or never have been on a sex offense registry. So when people say, oh, you can't read, you're not reading it right. Let me explain something to you. Because remember, when we first came out with this information, Taharka Bey said that we doctored it. It wasn't even true. We fabricated the documents, is what he said. Now he's saying that we just don't know how to read the documents. So which one is it? Did we make it up? Did we doctor and fix this document up, hook it up? Or is it just that we don't know what the document means? I know what the document means. I know exactly what the document means. But just in case you don't have common sense, I'm going to give you a lesson on reading comprehension. What that says right there is registered/lifetime sex offender. So first things first, what that means is registered and or lifetime sex offender. Doesn't mean registered lifetime sex offender. It means registered and or. So you could be a registered sex offender, but not still be on the registry because there's a certain time that it will come off where you don't have to report anymore, depending on what you did. That's number one. Number two, if this was just saying that we checked the record, it wouldn't say registered and or lifetime sex offender. It would say like sex offense registry, meaning we checked the sex offense registry. That's not what it's saying. This is asking a question. This is registered lifetime sex offender, yes or no? Yes. That means he is registered and or lifetime sex offender, or at least at the time that he caught this case in 2016. So in 2016, he was indeed a registered sex offender. So by now, he might not be, because he could have caught the case in the year 2010 and only had to be on for 10 years, so it would have fell off in 2020. Or he could have just stopped registering, because it's only a misdemeanor not to do so. I already went through this and showed all the receipts of this. It's only a misdemeanor. So if he decided I ain't going to register because I don't want to be on that registry, it's only a misdemeanor. You might get a couple of days in jail. You might get the jail time waived and just do probation. In other words, if he didn't register, he wouldn't be on the registry. But in 2016, he was. And that's exactly what this is stating. There's no getting around it. There's no secret to reading this shit. It says very clear, registered/lifetime sex offender. Yes. It doesn't say we've checked the registry. It would read different if that's what it was indicating. But the reason why I have to go through these kind of things and say these kind of things and address these trolls, because I'm going to get more and more trolls on my page, is because I want you guys who are of sound mind to understand how to deal with this and understand why it's a good thing, actually. It's a good thing that these people are making themselves, exposing themselves, that they rock with someone who has something like this. Because these people have kids and you have kids. And the people that will excuse stuff like this, but then act like they have a problem with somebody who doesn't have stuff like this, the people who excuse stuff like this are the same people, and unfortunately, a lot of them are women, who will allow their children to be molested by someone because they don't want to end the relationship with the molester. They don't want to confront the molester. These are the same people. I've been with women before who said that they were touched when they were children. And some of them said things like, I told my mom, she didn't believe me. Or my mom caught her boyfriend molesting me and she was mad at me. They gave it a pass. They made excuses not to address it. They got mad at the person who actually was being molested more than the person that was doing the molesting. They make excuses. They allow these things to happen. And that person will normally probably molest more than one person. So they're causing damages in our community. And some of that damage leads to the prostitutes and promiscuous behavior, and allows those who are sick, who should be isolated from, to continue to operate. And it's people, the same kind of people making these excuses. This is why, watch that video, why it's important to know who's who. Because these are the people who allow this kind of shit to happen. The same ones that's making these excuses. Oh, no, that you don't know how to read. The paperwork doesn't really read like that. Or that was a long time ago. Or blah, 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 blah. Insert excuse here. It's all the same. They may not, in some cases, be pedophiles or predators. But if they're going to allow it and make excuses for those who are, the effect is the same. Doesn't matter. You're allowing it. You're giving it breathing room. Period. And especially in days like this, that is more acceptable, unfortunately. We're being prepped in media, social media, and government to accept this type of behavior. I remember once I went to court. My cousin was in court. He got caught with like a personal amount of cocaine. We're talking about like enough to party with for a day, like 20, 40 bucks worth of cocaine. He got caught with it. He was in jail. He was going to court to try to get his bail reduced because they had him on like a $25,000 cash only bail. So I went to court. We're trying to see if we can, I was going to court with his girlfriend, and we were going to see if they're going to reduce the bail so we can make the bail for him. So as we're waiting for him to come to court, they had other cases that came before him. And I kid you not, at least 5 sex offenders came to court from behind bars that day as I'm waiting for my cousin's turn to go to, have his case heard. Do you know that every single sex offender in there got their bail reduced or just got out on their personal recognizance, meaning all you have to do is sign a paper saying you're coming to court, and they let them go. I think the highest bail that they gave one of them dudes was like $1,500, meaning they only had to pay $150, sign a paper saying they're going to court. Then my cousin comes up. Now remember, he didn't touch any kids. He didn't have multiple child molestations like these cats did. He just got caught with a little bit of cocaine that he was partying with. They didn't touch his bail. They wouldn't reduce his bail. Remember, he has no criminal record either. So they're giving more passes to sex offenders than someone who was partying and not hurting anyone but himself. And unfortunately, we're giving passes to sex offenders as well, because we are allowing and making excuses for this type of shit to go on, and wondering why we still continue to have damaged children in our communities. Because we're making excuses for those that are doing the damage. I understand everyone has a past. I understand that. I understand, okay, he beat up on his wife or his girlfriend, beat up on his other girlfriend, beat up on his kids. Okay, this was a while back. I think the most recent one was like maybe 7 years ago. And he could have changed, sure. Maybe. But now let's weigh out what he's doing now. Since we're going to make this a YouTube streets thing, let's weigh out what he's doing now that is balancing out the fact that he's a fucking registered sex offender / woman and children beater. What is he doing now that's so much greater that we can look at that as that's the past and, hey, he's turned his life around? He's still attacking women. He's still using sex as a way to attack women. Hence, he's sharing in a revenge porn fashion videos and pictures of another man's wife and monetizing it. That in itself could be a sex crime. It's revenge porn nonetheless. So anyone who would use a tactic like that, how can you say that he's learned not to use and abuse women, and even in a sexual manner. He's weaponizing sex against a woman. Think about that. The behavior ain't changed. This dude attacked Sisters of the Underground, a black organization from Atlanta that rescues women who are caught in sex trafficking or DV situations. With receipts, that's what they do. And he did a whole video attacking them. Why would someone attack an organization that rescues women from sex trafficking and DV? Ironically, clearly, it would be someone who has a sex offense under their belt. And remember, if you're on this registry at any time, that means you were convicted. Doesn't mean you were just accused. It means you were actually convicted. So why would you attack some sisters that put their life on the line and put their resources towards rescuing women who have been in DV situations and sex trafficking situations? They've rescued people actually in his neighborhood before. Why would you attack that? Well, I guess when you have this on your record, it makes sense. I guess when you have multiple DVs under your belt, it makes sense. It makes sense why this cat raised over $6,000 saying he was going to go cover the Brother Polite trial, because Brother Polite, in case you don't know, is on trial for allegedly sexually assaulting a 14-year-old. He raised money saying he's going to cover that. He raised the money, supposedly said he bought the van, never showed it though, but he's never went down there to cover that trial. Nor has he even spoke on the subject of Brother Polite since. He hasn't spoke on any sex offenders. Think about that. Out of all the people he attacks and puts all of his energy into attacking, he's never attacked Nature Boy, who's in jail right now for kidnapping and sexual assaults and things of that nature. He's never said never went after him. Never went after Brother Polite. And there's more receipts I could be bringing out about some of the people that follow Tariq, or not Tariq, but Taharka, and them being convicted rapos. His best friend, Adrian, I hope somebody dares me to bring out these receipts. I hope Taharka Bey dares me to bring these receipts out. When you know your best friend from Annapolis did time for gang raping a 14-year-old girl. So it's just by coincidence that he surrounds himself, and a lot of his moderators too, they have sexual offenses, Charles being one of them. So is it just a coincidence that many people that support him and that he supports and that he refuses to report on has sexual offenses on their record, but he buddies up with them? And out of all the people in our community that he's attacking that are detriment to our community, he's not exposing none of the sex offenders. Why is that? Why? You know why. So everybody that's watching this, just know, like I said in that last video, the reason it's important to know who's who, and not just who they are, but who supports them, is so you can gauge exactly what kind of fuckery we have to deal with, because these people live in our communities. The ones that's making these excuses are the reasons why so many of our children are growing up in abusive situations and abused. It's because there's someone who's willing to look the other fucking way. And it's the same ones that's making these excuses right now. And those are the same ones. They're the same. Those are the same type that when their daughters or sons come to them and say, hey, your boyfriend's touching me, mama. No, he ain't, you lying ass bitch. I don't believe you. Or you just trying to take my man. Those are the ones that are making excuses for this shit right here. Yeah. That's why it's important to know who's who. And it's a good thing that these people are exposing themselves, so at least now we know. It's a good thing. It's also a good thing that the number of those who are supporting that bullshit is dwarfed by the number of us who are really on code and really trying to get real things done. Because on one hand, we have Tariq Nasheed, who is helping, he's moved the needle on the reparations. So no matter what y'all say, as we've been pushing this reparations movement from the grassroots over the last few years, we've had Senate hearings on reparations. We've had different states bringing forth reparations. They're not doing it on their own. They're doing it because they understand, yo, this is what we're on. They have to address it. So the needle is being moved nonetheless. Because the needle wasn't being moved before. So what we're doing on this new black media grassroots, it's actually having effects. Is it perfected? No. Is it where we want to be? No. But we're at least moving in that direction. And the difference between Tariq Nasheed and Taharka Bey is one is a fucking registered sex offender, the other's not. One actually raises money and completes what they say they're going to do once they raise the money, and one has not. Tariq Nasheed has raised money for the museum. The museum was purchased. And it was transparent. He raised money for movies. He has came out with all the movies and documentaries that he said he's going to do. He raised money. I don't even know if he raised money for that rally in D.C., but it happened. It's a real thing that actually happened, no matter how many people came. On the other hand, you have somebody who raised money for a Morris Village starting in 2017. He hasn't produced a Morris Village. But he did raise the money and flip the money and never produced it. He raised money for a news van, never got it. He raised money for another van so he can go to the Brother Polite's trial. He hasn't even went to the trial, spoke about the trial, or showed that he actually bought a van with the money. Now he's raising money to go sue someone, but peep game how he's raising the money. Just use your common sense. Why is he raising the money through PayPal now instead of GoFundMe or anything like that? Because GoFundMe or Kickstarter is transparent. You can see how many people donated, what they donated. If he does it through PayPal, he ain't got to show no receipts. But here's what I guarantee. He is not going to sue Tariq Nasheed because he has no grounds to do so, because Tariq Nasheed is only bringing up public information. So you can't sue someone for bringing up your public information, and court records are public. It's public. It's tax paid. Courts are paid with taxpayer money. They operate for the public. So whatever's on your court records is public information. So he can't sue Tariq Nasheed, nor would he even have to go to LA to do the sue. He could do it from where he's at. He could do it pro bono if he really has a case. He doesn't have to raise money for that. But what's going to happen, he's going to raise the money, keep raising money, and then he's going to make an excuse why he can't go through with the suit. I guarantee you that's exactly what's going to happen. Then he's going to have to make excuses. Then you guys are going to look like idiots again. And then he's going to convince you guys why he couldn't do it and why he needs more money in the future. And it's going to continue to be a cycle, because that's all it's been. This dude ain't produced shit. I mean, the audacity of this dude going against somebody who's actually doing real things that the people want, love, appreciate, and that's actually moving the needle socially for our people. And this clown, Taharka, is putting on Jive Turkey Awards. First of all, he stole the terminology Jive Turkey from Tariq. Then he monetizes it with some Jive Turkey Awards. Like that's what's important to y'all? Some damn Jive Turkey Awards? This nigga said he knows exactly how to get reparations. He broke it down. Here's what you got to do to get reparations. Oh, I got a plan for it. Let's see if he ever produces anything to really organize and put resources behind reparations. He won't. But the audacity with all the people who he attacks, none of them, not one of them, has he even accused of anything egregious as being a sex offender or a woman beater. The beast that he says why he has to expose these people. First of all, notice that everybody who he exposes, there's no one from their communities that are saying that they are a detriment or no good for the community. It's just him saying, I don't agree with it. It's not going to work. Yo, they're just. But like, there's no like organic level of people saying anything against all these people who he's been attacking. Nobody's saying Tariq Nasheed ripped them off. He's saying that Tariq is ripping people off. Meanwhile, he's ripping people off. This is why you got to know who's who. Because a lot of them cats are just fakes, agents, bots, paid views. A lot of them are his actual other accounts that that's why he has to control the narrative. This is why he will block you and erase your messages in the live stream and if you comment after he posts his video. Because he has to make it look like everyone supports him. He hardly will allow anyone who is going against what he says. When you have to do these kind of things, that's propaganda. When you have to do these kind of things, that means what you're saying isn't legit, and it means that you don't feel like you should ever be held to accountability. So once again, this is why it's important to know who's who, not just for the actual person, but you need to gauge what we got going on in our community and the level of support for fuckery there is, because that's the people that we're dealing with in the streets. Those are the people in your community, the same ones. But like I said, thank God, it's not as big in number as those who are sincerely, critically thinking and involved in things that are progressive for our people. That's it. Peace.